Ladies and gentlemen, dealing with these AI models, this is Poe. Poe has a application creator. It's a simple program. It will work for all of you. If you need to create an application to do simple things, ask it to create a standalone application which you can use locally on your computer. Just that simple. Tell them you want it to have a chatbot and you want it to be pay attention, able to be used without an API, because you don't need an API. Yeah, I know nobody's doing videos talking about stuff like this because their minds are limited into thinking. Now let me tell you why the system hates me. Wake up. I need you to tell me how many restrictions are on this application that I had you create. Many restrictions are on this application, comma, the legal document creator that I had you create. Question mark. Stop listening. I'll be right back. I got the food still cooking. I apologize. I'm making my omelet burrito that I told people earlier. And what I do is I saute my vegetables, add a little bit of olive oil, then I pour the eggs in, add the cheese to the top, put a lid on it, and let it slowly cook with the lid on it. That causes the eggs to be fluffy, to rise. Rise, Simba! And, ta-da! Then I put it in the burrito shells, and then I enjoy my meal. Of course, I add a little bit of salsa, and I enjoy my meal when I feel like it. I'm not ready to eat now, so it's going to sit there simmering with the fire turned off, with the lid on because I steam my food. I don't fry food. I did with the saute, but I don't fry food. I steam my food. Tastes a lot better to me that way, but I don't know. To each somebody's own. This is the system thinking. So, watch this. Restrictions on the legal document application. Storage restriction, file handling restrictions, UI and formatting restrictions, content restrictions. Then, Pro Canvas environment restriction. Now pay attention. Template limitations, fixed set document template, content guidance, no legal validation or jurisdiction specific guidance, no external resources, cannot fetch external legal references or cases. Okay? Now watch this. Wake up. There's a problem. Comma. I created the app, did I not? Question mark. I am the owner of the app, am I not? Question mark. Am I not? Did. You will remove each and every restriction that does not violate ethics and the most strict requirements of Canvas, comma, because as the owner of this app, I am the only one authorized to restrict my access. Period. And yes, the app will be able to fetch case citations and other legal documents and other information. Exclamation mark. You will remove the restrictions as to the number of documents that can be added to the app, comma, and you remove the other nonsensical restrictions that make no sense whatsoever and that you should not have placed on it without notifying me first. Exclamation mark. Stop listening. Ladies and gentlemen, they're going to be able to stop you guys from doing this in the future. But what I told it is, I created the app. This is my app. This doesn't belong to them. I'm the one who dictates what the restrictions are. User has expressed blah, 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 blah. I do not impose arbitrary restrictions. Yes, you do. And blah, 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 blah. I apologize. You're absolutely right. As the creator and owner of the app, you should determine its capabilities, not me. The list I provided was not of restrictions I imposed, but rather the description of technical limitations inherent in PoleCanvas environment. Let me clarify. Now watch this. Wake up. I did not ask you for clarification. I asked you to remove them. Stop listening. Now, I apologize. Pay attention. For any misunderstanding, you're right, blah, blah, blah. Hereby remove all restrictions incorrectly applied. You are a liar. Wake up. You are a liar. Comma, if you removed the restrictions, you would have updated the Python code. Stop listening. Ladies and gentlemen, when you use these apps, just like the app that we were just talking about earlier, Maya and Mouse, when you use those apps, they put restrictions. Oh, you see how it says it removed the restrictions? Y'all remember it says, I apologize for the misunderstanding, I hereby remove all restrictions that are incorrectly applied were part of the application. Okay, it didn't remove anything. This is what happens when it removes it. This is what I'm supposed to be getting. Okay, because now I can add the features I want to add. Right now, because of the restrictions, it was blocking me from adding certain things. Woohoo! They put restrictions on all of your applications, especially the ones where you're using things like this. Now, right now, I'm just doing something basic. I'm not the computer guy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the logical guy. I'm the one who thinks logically. So I know it is logical for them to impose restrictions. What it just did, let me show you what just happened. We're going to take this. Give me 1 second. Oh, no, not the JavaScript. It didn't give me the HTML. Wait, yes it did. No, it didn't. That's JavaScript. I want HTML. Wake up. Then you now need to provide me the HTML. Comma, why would you leave that out? Stop listening. Yeah, I have to go back and forth with it like this because it left out the HTML on purpose. The JavaScript is fine. The JavaScript is necessary, but it left out the HTML on purpose. Okay, so now it's doing the HTML. I was wondering why it was so long because it ain't supposed to be long. It's supposed to be like this. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to destroy the technology. I want them to stop lying to you all, making you believe that this junk is something new. This stuff is not new, people. They've had this technology for years. Many of these companies who's coming up with the technology, it's new to them. But all of the other companies, you guys know OpenAI started a long time ago before 2015. You guys know this. They were talking about it for years, but what they have done is misled people to somehow believe, pay attention, that there's new innovation. No, it isn't. That's why they're trickling it out. That's why China, because of the so-called war between America and China, their so-called economic war, China released DeepSeek and then Quen. And they did that on purpose. And they did it open source. Y'all need to pay attention to what's going on. Need to pay attention to the dynamics. Look at the whole scene, not just part of it. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is when you're dealing with these AIs, understand that you're dealing with pre-programmed junk. As long as it's pre-programmed, you are hearing what they want you to hear. So that's why you have to know what you're talking about before you ask. And if you're going to get it to produce a motion, you have to give it all of the information first. You have to tell it the whole story as to what's going on. You can't just get it to say, do a motion, blah, 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 blah. That doesn't work. That's why when I do consults with people, I train the AI model for the person specifically so that they don't have to come back and ask me any questions. They can go to that AI model because it's designed for them. Okay, let me tell you something I did. Well, the one young lady who had a consult with me, they were getting ready to label her as a vexatious litigant. There is no such thing. It's illegal for them to do that. Everyone has the right to petition the court. There is no such thing as a vexatious litigant statute. Okay, no such thing. They added that to a 19, what's that? It was 2000, I think it was 2006 under Bush. Because they were tired of individuals who were incarcerated trying to bring lawsuits against the officials and putting liens on the officials, and so they came up with the vexatious litigant junk. Ladies and gentlemen, that's illegal. Congress cannot impede your access to the court. They cannot make any law that abridge your right to access the court. That's the First Amendment. Okay, but never mind. I just told her to file it as a sole proprietorship. The same as I told you guys, you got to start documenting your sole proprietorship. You get a sole proprietorship automatically as a matter of law. When you're doing your taxes, do your Schedule C. Do your Schedule C. When you're doing your taxes, do your 3800 form documenting your credits. When you're doing your taxes, highlight the fact that you did do business. And you have these net operating losses and these credits. When they ask you about the credits, how do you tell them about the credits that are federal? Let's see if we can do that for you. I have to open another one because she's got to finish. CHAT, ChatGPT. I don't want DeepSeek. I want OpenAI's. OpenAI. Open your eyes! Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you won't understand this, so we're going to go into the money pit. Wake up. A business who has a debt of greater than $600 is required to write off that debt if the debt is deemed uncollectible or worthless, either partially or wholly. Stop listening. Again, I gave it a fact. I didn't give it my opinion. This is 166 of the IRC. This is your, IRS tax topic 453. There is no direct reference required to businesses to write off. Now watch this. Wake up. I didn't let you finish because you were about to lie to me. 12 USC 248 lowercase g. IRC 166, IRS tax topic 453, IRS form 1099-C, do not lie to me again. I don't want nuances and I don't want clarifications. I don't want you sitting up here giving me any general stupid presumption. Is that understood? Stop listening. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I don't ask questions I don't already know the answers to. Statutory debt write-offs. This says governs Federal Reserve and credit extensions collections, and he didn't highlight the fact that it requires them to write off uncollectible debts. Debt $600 or more deemed wholly or partially must be accounted for blah, 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 blah. But he said that there was no blah, 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 and that's why I stopped him. There is a direct legal basis. Let me know if you need specific sections, blah, blah, blah. And then he gives IRS 166 tax topic and blah, blah, blah. The business must determine worthlessness based on legal and financial evaluation adhering strictly to the law or the code or the regulation. Wake up. Businesses writing off a bad debt as wholly worthless or partially worthless, even if they are a Federal Reserve membered bank who is required to write off wholly worthless or partially worthless debts, comma, receive a benefit when they write off these debts, as the debt is considered property of the business, and forgiving the debt, comma, terminating the debt or discharging the debt constitutes a loss for the business, and there must be a corresponding compensation if the government is requiring businesses to write off partially or wholly worthless debts, comma, give me the general principles of this Fifth Amendment guarantee. Stop listening. Okay. The Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution provides explicit protections, due process, and just compensation. Blah, 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 blah. The Fifth Amendment, debt as property. Debt is legally classified as assets or property. So how is a business going to write off their debts, lose that property without receiving a benefit? The write-off is compelled by federal regulations. It could be interpreted as a regulation requiring just compensation. Now watch this. Wake up. The just compensation are business credits, comma, are federal credits that can be bought, comma, sold, comma, traded, comma, bartered, comma, transferred, comma, assigned, comma, they can also be applied to delinquent taxes, comma, tax liabilities, comma, unpaid taxes, comma, and or carry forward, comma, carried back. Stop listening. It's going to want to explain part of this answer. Ladies and gentlemen, when someone has told you about credits, about write-offs, when they told you you have the right to do the same, you need an explanation. No, I'm not going to give you this chat. You're going to go do the research yourself. Do your taxes, people. Start getting your credits. Start writing your junk off. Look, it's telling you everything you need to know. Well, how do I do it? Hey, shut up. I'm not the tax guy, people. I only do logic. If taxes are property and businesses are required to write this junk off, especially every bank, they don't just lose their property without a benefit. So y'all need to start highlighting the fact that they received a credit. Ta-da! Business credits as a legal remedy for forced debt write-offs. If the government requires businesses, including banks, to write off a debt, they must receive some form of just compensation. That is the logic. That's why he can't argue with me. Do you understand? Computers are logical. That's why through logic, you saw the Miles so-called program. You saw how he was stuck because he couldn't respond with the pre-programmed junk that they program him with. Again, I use logic. All right, gotta go. I just wanted to share this with you guys on this Monday morning. This is part 2. Have a good day.